Thank God it's Friday. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. And this is where I am. I'm at the Emmanuel Lutheran Church. And it is a beautiful, beautiful church. I saw it from the road and I thought I'd stop and show you as well. This is, everybody loves a church. And churches are just beautiful, no matter what religion is serviced in that particular church or building. The architecture of any church is an interesting thing to me, and probably an interesting thing to you as well. And this one is no different. This is no exception. I saw this building from the side of the road, and I thought I have to show these images. There's the truck. The building is located right next to a cemetery. Evidently, a rich landowner donated the land back in the 1900s. The congregation started back in the 1800s at some point. The original building burnt down, and what you're seeing now, oops, somebody's flying in style, huh? When you gotta go, you gotta go. Beautiful images. So this is the Emmanuel Lutheran Church, and I thought I'd show you this church today. I'm outside of Austin, coming back from a successful podcast. We had Felicia Michaels and Tom Slater, and we had a lot of fun. Back in the day, it was common to have cemeteries next to churches. It was more easy to just transport the deceased out the front doors of the church, right to his or her final resting place. And this is how it's laid out, given the fact that they had enough land and they incorporated this burial cemetery, conveniently located right next to the church. If I had my selfie stick, I would probably do a little bit more of a presentation inside the cemetery. Cemeteries are very, very interesting as well. And you can see what people have said on their tombstones, what their families have placed on their tombstones. The types of tombstones. I like the above ground mausoleums myself. I can't afford a house, but I could probably afford a little mausoleum, perhaps, above the ground one. I don't know. But here's the building over here. And I'll go up and show you the plaque in a minute. Today in history, in 1948, Israel became a state. Today is May 14th. Congratulations, our hats are off to Israel. It became its own entity. It became its own country. And I've got to switch hands now because that's what you do. You got to switch hands. And as you're switching hands, it's causing visual nightmares for the viewer, and I want to apologize. So our hats are off to Israel for establishing itself and being established and recognized worldwide as an independent state. And we can only hope that some of the problems that they're experiencing today can somehow move forward in a positive way for everyone involved. After all, people are all the same wherever you go. They want peace and they want security. And hopefully that can be obtained at some point. Here's the doors. No doubt they'll be locked. I'd love to see what it looks like inside. Here's the plaque. This is the Emmanuel Evangelical. There it is. Evangelical Lutheran Church. And I'll just, instead of just butchering it, I'll leave it there. And perhaps you can freeze your screen, and you'll be able to get all the information you need right from this plaque. But the congregation started way back in 1852, and then as time went on, in 1874, and this rich, wealthy landowner donated the land and the building, and at some point the building burnt down, and this building was erected in 1900, what we see here today. And there's the cemetery, overlooking the cemetery. In 1973, the first U.S. space station, space house, space condo, space laboratory, space annex, name it what you want, Skylab today was launched, or became the first, work center in outer space. So our hats are off to NASA, and they've been going on like gangbusters ever since. And in 1998, we saw the last episode of the iconic Seinfeld episode. A very, 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 isn't that nice? It's like a postcard, just perfect. That's why I'm very, very respectful of craftsmen and people who handy with their hands. You can't build something if you don't know how to measure and you don't know what you're doing. You can't have a crooked building or a crooked wall or a warped piece of wood. I'm walking backwards now, trying not to fall down. There's the cross up top, the international symbol of peace and love, and the church. So our hats are off to Israel for in 1948. Our hats are off to NASA for Skylab. And our hats are off to Seinfeld for making a lot of people forget about life for a while and sit and laugh with themselves or with their family for quite a number of years. 9 or 10 years, I think that show ran. Very successful franchise, and made Jerry Seinfeld and anybody involved with that project very, very wealthy. And I'll spin around and give you another iconic view of this beautiful building. They just don't make it like this anymore. And I attempted to do a few, I don't know why I didn't have everything I needed today, but that's life. Waking up is, I guess, the most important thing. And if you've woken up, then you've got the world by the tail. You've got to wake up and start a new day. There it is. God, I just can't keep looking at it. And the cemetery off to the left. And here's the truck again. And I'll show you the new light on the truck. I have to talk about the truck. You're probably wondering, when is he going to stop talking about that stupid truck? And there's the new light. Thank you, Victor Simmons. And it does light up, and it did come with a bulb all the way from Taiwan. Didn't even have to buy a bulb. Don't you hate that when they say no batteries included, Put some batteries in there. And I'll just turn it on here. There it goes. And you can see that everything is in working order. Isn't that nice? Everything is working just the way it is. It's like a person with a club foot, I guess. The person is fine, the person is lovable, the person is everything the person needs to be, and we love that person. We don't throw that person away because that person has a club foot or a neck brace or a nervous twitch. We all have deficiencies, and sometimes people with deficiencies are just as... Look at Helen Keller. Look at all the obstacles and deficiencies she had. We didn't throw Helen Keller away. She gave us examples on what we could do for the rest of our life, overcome obstacles, and just be happy. So all the lights are working. Church is working. A beautiful church. The cross on top. The cemetery, rest in peace. And there you go.